Good morning everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. I would normally do the video in the kitchen, but unfortunately the lighting is a bit too dark in there right now, so I'm just going to have to settle for this light being on and this being here. But I hope everyone's doing well. Now, last video, I did briefly mention Rosie Duffield. Now I'm going to go into a little more detail as far as this is concerned, because anybody who has been watching the news and what have you as of late will know that Rosie Duffield has decided she's walking out on this job. She's decided that the Labour Party, also known as the Traitor Party in my eyes, but that's just my humble opinion, they have not really been serving the British people. Mind you, that's not really new news. That's very old news, in fact. We all know that they've never been of the working class or for generally improving the conditions of the country we're living in right now. But I'm not here to discuss Labour as a whole. Rosie Duffield did put in what I would consider an absolutely damning letter to Keir The Traitor Starmer for her resignation. I won't go over all of it because my memory's not that impressive. Anything short-term memory is usually out of my head within about 30 to 60 seconds at most. But I digress. I will go over some of the main points that she made. Mainly that she mentioned that the politics that Keir The Traitor Starmer is undergoing right now is not even wise politics, let alone politics of change or what have you. She also mentions that this long, hard-fought victory over 14 years to get the Labour Party into power, she absolutely ripped Keir The Traitor Starmer to pieces by saying, "How dare you take our long-fought victory and throw it back in our individual faces?" I mean, she's pretty much nailed it on the head, because Keir The Traitor Starmer has taken a gold mine and literally knocked out all the pillars of the gold mine to collapse it, quite frankly. Keir The Traitor Starmer could not have done a worse job as MP, even if he had the aid of Gordon the Bullion Blundering Brown. He could not have done a worse job, even if he had the advice of WEF themselves. And he's the fucking guy who is actually serving them, quite frankly. But she then goes on to mention the sleaze, the nepotism, and the apparent avarice that he has is essentially overwhelming. Like, Keir The Traitor Starmer has just absolutely no respect for his own MPs, let alone the people who elected him, no matter how much of a bunch of fucking idiots they may be, bluntly speaking. He has basically taken this victory that Labour fought so hard for. Well, to be fair, they can't really have worked that hard, considering the Tories practically made themselves unelectable. It didn't stop them from having more votes than Reform, though. It didn't stop them from at least having like 26% or so or whatever it was of the vote. Frankly, they only deserve 2.6%, but that's just me. She then goes on to say that she was effectively seeing no experience whatsoever from Keir The Traitor Starmer, that he knew what the hell he was doing, and that he's even electing people into higher seats of power who have zero experience or zero practical experience of being in a higher up position, and clearly don't have the skills for it. I'm looking at you, David Knob Lammy. Anybody who's watched Super J when he had his first channel, now Super J TV, will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure he still has that knob video still running around somewhere. I'm sure you can find it if you go look for it. But I digress. The fact that there are people that Keir The Traitor Starmer has elected into power that have zero reason to be in those higher seats of power is mind-boggling. Then finally, I think to sum it all up, Rosie Duffield then went on to say that effectively, trying to remember it now, fucking hell. Yes, they need to start putting the the greed of the few towards the needs of the many, or over the needs of the many, I should say. In other words, he should be looking after the people, not looking after himself and his cronies. He shouldn't be going out of his way and getting his money ready to go off on free fucking vacations, while most of us people would have to save up for that shit. And some of us may never be able to save up for some of that shit because of the prices of food, the price of electricity and gas, the price of just living in general. All thanks to Keir the Traitor Starmer. And we all have to worry, of course, that whenever we walk out on the streets, we're not going to get stabbed or something. Because we have our useless Muslim mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and let me be clear, I'm not roasting him because he's a Muslim, I'm roasting him because he's a crap fucking mayor, who is saying that, oh, terrorism, it's part and parcel of being in a big city. No, it's not. Nowhere in the world would it ever be part and parcel to have terrorism in a big city. So take that bullshit excuse and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. Just make sure Allah doesn't spot you doing it. Otherwise he might think you are homosexual. And you know how they treat homosexuals in Islam. But of course the mainstream media won't tell you that. You know the drill, folks. Because say it with me. It doesn't suit the narrative. And of course, the media are not going to tell you about the letter either. Why do you think more people are starting to tune in more to social media like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc., etc.? Why do you think they're going to them versus turning on the telly and watching the news there? Well, first and foremost, they can basically skip over the television because they don't need to worry about that shit. The only reason they would need a TV license at that point is if they're watching anything on BBC iPlayer, and only an idiot is going to watch anything on that shit. Especially considering we know how crap the BBC shows are. But the main reason people are going on their computers to find out their news now is because they know that the mainstream media are just going to keep spinning a yarn. They're going to keep telling lie after lie after lie and not tell you the truth. They're not journalists, they're activists. They're propagandists, if you will. They're the ones who are effectively telling you, oh, everything's fine and dandy. The clouds are blue, the sun is out, even though I can blatantly see, as usual in Norwich, that it's raining here. You know, if they told me the sky was blue, I would literally look out the fucking window to see for myself, quite frankly. The media cannot be trusted, and the public have started to realise this. That's why they go onto the internet, and they find the blue Tweety bird, and they find that blue F, or that little picture icon, Instagram. That's why they go there, or wherever, for their news, because they know the media's not going to give them the truth. Whereas people on YouTube, people on Facebook, people on Twitter, more often than not, they're going to be more likely to tell the truth than the mainstream media. And it's why we're hearing about this letter from Rosie Duffield. And you know what? I'm going to say this much about Rosie Duffield. Thank God she has a pair of balls, unlike some men. Whether up here or down there, or in my case both, and I have got a banging set of tits, let me tell you. Anyway, she's got the balls to at least say to Keir the Traitor Starmer exactly what's on her mind. I wish I could marry that woman, quite frankly, but obviously I'm going to have to go through the dating process like everyone else. You know. But I'm still waiting on the unlimited female attraction from all the links that I've been using. But yeah, you know, I haven't had one woman walk up to me, you know. Oh, God. But jokes aside, I do wish the best for Rosie Duffield, because clearly she is one of the very few MPs in the Houses of Treachery, Parliament, or maybe I was right first time, who actually has some morals. who actually has some integrity. I only wish Keir the Traitor Starmer would have some bloody integrity. But we all know how that's going to work out, folks. Keir the Traitor Starmer is going to keep pissing your taxpayer money up the wall, continue to defy even his own MPs, and continue to let the elderly suffer. Well, quite frankly, there's only one way this is going to end if he continues down this path, and it ain't a good one. Keir the Traitor Starmer will end up out of office. It's just a matter of time. It's not even if anymore, it's when. Because Keir the Traitor Starmer has done everything that Keir the Traitor Starmer wants, but not his own MPs or what we want. He's on the ropes. In fact, literally, he's sitting on the fucking canvas right now, and the referee's going, 1, 2, 3, and it's not going to be long before he reaches 10. And when he does, the bell will ring, and someone else will take out the trash and hopefully deliver something that the British people have asked for.